Hello, cosplay, we're back with another paint enchant. We're this time actually going to do the aluminum tape method here. You see I've done half of it, and I've actually kind of fucked up a couple times because I'm streaming and I need to like pay attention. Like, I love you guys in the stream, but I can't respond and like tell a good story and do YouTube stuff at the same time. Rawr, multitasking! At any rate, I want to tell you about the dumbest, biggest, most dangerous costume I've ever made. I mean, I made a lot of really dumb, big bullshit, but if I had to pick one, the one that was like the dumbest was my Hollow Ichigo from Bleach. Now, you may know what that character is because Bleach has been out for a time now, but when I had first started, Bleach was kind of new. This was like 2007-ish, I think. I think this is 2007. At any rate, the only picture I had of him was like 2 frames from the manga, and I really wanted to make a hollow, basically. And all the hollows in the Bleach series kind of just come and go, and they're sort of like, what is it? Jobbers. They come and get killed. They're not really all that interesting unless you're talking about like what is it? The fisherman. Yeah, the fisherman one. Anyway, I wanted to make the cool new thing. I was really excited to be. I wanted to be on like the edge of what was possible or what wasn't like known about the series. However, I kind of made a bad decision. My bad decision was because I was really kind of wanting to make a hollow. Was that the image in my mind at the time looked like he was, I don't know, pretty tall, like 9 foot tall or whatever. However, I hadn't quite wrapped my head around things like foreshortening and perspective. And so, if anyone's watched the anime or seen the manga from Bleach, you'll know that Hollow Ichigo is not 9 foot tall. But I made one that was 9 foot tall, and he was more monstrous than he does appear in the series. At least that's how the costume came out. He was much more hollow than Soul Reaper. At any rate, let me describe for you this costume. Alright? So, it was made 9 feet tall by having me on 2 foot lifts and I think I could see out of the neck. So we got about 3 feet because the head was on top of my head and I was on 2 foot lifts. The lifts were made with a base of like a plank of wood and then PVC pipe, and like 1/2 inch PVC pipe with those connection pieces. And boy, did I learn that those are not really a good choice for like structural pieces. I've learned definitely better tricks these days. I also learned that the plumber's glue that you find in the home improvement store, not a good choice. You want to put screws or you want to use that special PVC glue I use right here. It's much better. That stuff you buy in the home improvement store, completely useless for making structural work with PVC pipe. It's good for actual functional piping in your house because it's not being, you know, pressed or moved or stressed in any real way aside from maybe water pressure. But in costuming, you probably want to go with something a bit better. I stood on a wood platform and I had like a brace for my knee. I had to like strap and brace to my knees so I could walk and lift it up. My arms were actually like what do they call them? Like canes, and were exceptionally long, so I could walk kind of all on fours and support myself that way, which is good because Hollow Ichigo has a tail, a pretty substantially big tail, and I tried to fix. Okay, so here's the problem with tails in a lot of cases, is that it throws off your center of mass because it's like behind you, and you tend to lean forward when you have to balance that weight. So I tried to keep the tail as close to the body as possible, but still look, you know, reasonably good. And to make sure that I could walk more safely, we're on 2-foot lifts, by the way, 2 feet off the ground. If that tail shifts, that momentum, the weight that goes with it, is going to pull you in whatever direction that tail decides to go. And by the way, this is in the age of, or my age of latex and, latex and chicken wire. And so that tail was not light. That tail weighed a fair amount. At any rate, I also had a torso that I got into that supported the head, because the head was mounted to it and it was above mine. I could see out through kind of the neck area, through the what is it? The Soul Hunter. What the fuck? It's been so long since I watched Bleach. The Soul Reaper's neck or clothes. I could see through the clothes. It was a light fabric, so I could see through it. And that's how I saw through the costume, even though like my head wasn't popped out. I could see. Yeah, I could see. Not very well, obviously, but I could see. And also, I had the hole in the chest that did provide some visibility. Now, the arms were pretty heavy. They're mostly the more PVC pipe, and they were basically big long crutches. Yeah, big long crutches, and they strapped around the same way you would expect crutches to, but they were, I don't know, 8 foot long, 6. Yeah, they're pretty long, maybe 6-7 feet. They're pretty long. And they actually extended past my arm so that the shoulder would be at the same shoulder height of the monster I was being. So this was a big, cumbersome costume. Walking on 2-foot lifts is extremely difficult, even in a light like Jester costume. Imagine doing that when you have limited visibility and the weight is really not great. Like I said, that if that tail shifted anywhere, I would definitely feel it as I was walking, and I would have to like counterweight it and pull to the side to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. Additionally, these are my early kind of lifts, and I didn't quite know how to make them very well. So that wood, just plain wood on the ground, very kind of dangerous. It's on concrete, it clacks very hard, and on things like are smooth, like tile or tile or brick or anything like that, and even like soft even some carpets, it can be slippery. So I'd be very careful in this costume moving around. However, people seem to like it, and even though it was in no way accurate to the character, or it was in no way accurate to the way the character was supposed to be. And spoilers, guess what? I think that episode actually aired like the night of the ASIN 2007. It aired in America at any rate. ASIN 2000, or maybe it aired in Japan. Anyway, the episode aired ASIN 2007. And so at that point, I fully realized that I totally fucked up, and it was not in any way right. Just as like I finished crossing the stage, or whatever the case may be, it was great. Yeah. So character likeness failed. It was dangerous. It was huge and bulky. And here's the kicker, right? So This was made for the masquerade, mostly to go. I went to the photo shoot as well. I was in the background of the shot because guess what? I would be an asshole if I stood in the foreground. The lifts are 2 foot off the ground. And again, I'm going to reiterate that whole center of mass issue. That's a real issue with the weight. So the thing about doing stage performances is you got to get onto the stage. Where's my roller at? Jesus. There it is. And luckily they had a ramp, which is good because guess what? Those big feet, and they're made of wood and they're really kind of cumbersome. Those feet would not have climbed upstairs. There's no way. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna do the ramp. Now, that ramp had like maybe a 10-15 degree incline, and 10 feet tall things do not do particularly well on any kind of incline. And so my problem happened when I tried to climb this ramp and I was not centered over my arms. I was tilted backwards, my tail weighed me down, and I could not safely get onto the stage. I had to, also I was kind of like almost too big to get up the railing anyway. I had to get out of the costume and kind of try and cross the stage with my legs next to me. I didn't bother getting into the costume because it's obviously a big, huge pain in the ass. I have to get on a chair and then into the costume to actually walk in it. So I wasn't gonna like, I don't know, burden the audience or annoy the audience with me trying to get into this costume for a good 30 seconds or a minute minimum. So I didn't even cross the stage in the full costume. I just brought the legs out and had like, ooh, here's this stubby version of a Hollow Ichigo. It was really bad. I don't know. Apparently, like, one of the judges liked it. I got a Judge's Choice Award. I was lucky. Good for me. But that was really just the worst. That costume was scrapped. I even used these flathead hex bolt screws that were impossible to use after. I switched to Phillips afterwards immediately just because they were so impossible to use. I've run out of them. I usually reclaim all my materials and put, especially hardware and screws and things like that. Oh well. Just guys, be safe. Watch out for big costumes, or watch out when you're trying to do big costumes because it is absolutely dangerous. I'm lucky I had handlers with me. It was pretty awesome that they were there. Otherwise, I would have not been able to do what I did. And I learned a lot from it. So I hope maybe I can save you a little bit of trouble with my terrible story. And you have a little bit of insight into this. Feel free to ask questions, obviously, because I didn't go into much detail as to what I would recommend for options for big costumes. But I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Good times to all. Hey, looks like you made it all the way to the end. If you're interested in more new tutorials, con coverage, and other cosplay shenanigans every week, hit that sub button to get it delivered hot and fresh to you.